Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, and in today's video I'm going to give you a trade recap in the last 3 days. So in the last 3 days I've taken one trade here, one trade here, and one trade there, and I'm going to show you the setup that I found and how it worked out essentially. Okay, so consistently, this is what this video is about: trying to find consistency in trading, finding a setup that you can rely on, where you feel comfortable to get in, and you know where your TP is, and so on and so on and so on. So let's get started. Let's start with today's Wednesday. This is Monday. Mondays, if you know me, I do not like Mondays, and there's a reason for it, because Mondays are very slow and choppy. But I was able to take this trade on Monday and it worked out. Okay, spoiler. Stick around to the end of the video. I will give you a account update, let you know how I'm progressing with this 60k high stakes challenge with the 5%ers. Okay, so stick around to the end of the video. I'll share that with you. Okay, cool. Monday, let's zoom in a little bit more. 24, 27. Okay, cool. So if you've been following the channel, I showed you different ways of scalping. I do have a preferred way of scalping. Okay, so what I like to see is price trending. So this is Monday morning's Asian session. I like to see price trending in one direction and then reverse. Okay, so as you can see, that's what more or less did here, right? So how did we find this entry? So we have a trend here, a low here, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, pushing all the way up. Okay, this is very clear. There's no need for indicators. There's no need to draw out any channels or anything like that. It's very clear. You can see that if you just get used to it and start practicing reading naked charts. Okay, so low here, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is a high, higher low, right? So price pushes up, creating high highs on the way up. It pushes up, creates this high, pulls back into this demand, and from here to continue this current trend, it should push up and beat this high, but it didn't. It stopped there. Okay, so that's our first indication that this may want to reverse. Okay, and typically when it's trending slowly like this, it's already got into a higher time frame supply zone. Okay, so let's just look at that quickly, so because that's quite important. I shouldn't neglect that. I always take a setup based on where price is. Yeah, so let's quickly look. So Monday, boom. If we look to the left here, this is the supply zone that sent it all the way down here. This is where it reversed and came back to that supply zone. Okay, so at this point here, it's still 50-50 whether it pushes down to continue this attempted reversal or it breaks that and goes up. Okay, so however, we know we are in a supply zone from that high to this low. So this whole zone here is the supply zone. So if I saw any breaking structure on that day, I would have taken the scalp. So that's what I was looking for. So it gave me it's in the price area that I want to be selling from. Okay, so I want to sell from supply, buy from demand. Okay, so it's in supply. Cool, that's a good start. Now I need some kind of confirmation that it wants to do what I want it to do. It wants to be sold. So what I'm looking for is a small trend and then a break in that structure. Okay, my reasoning or my understanding for this is this small trend creates liquidity. So if you're in the Asian session and you're trading with the trend, it pushes up here and broke this structure, you think you're bullish, it goes up here. As it pulls back here, you're buying this. It pushes back there, cool, you were right. It's coming back here, maybe you're buying this here and you got your stop loss here, and look, boom, it takes you out. It eventually does go back up, so it's still bullish, but it will take you out first. Okay, so that's the way I look at it, and I want to be involved in the moves where they run liquidity essentially. Okay, it's not what I'm looking for, it's just what makes sense in terms of price and behavior. Okay, so before they continue their uptrend and go on with their agenda, they want to take some money. So here's the money. Look, it came and took it all, reversed, then went off. So that's why I want to be in these moves. Secondly, the reason why this has become my preferred way of trading, not only does it give me a price it gives me a entry, it gives me an entry, but it also helps me manage my risk, because I know if I'm wrong, I am wrong when this high gets beaten. Okay, that's when I'm wrong. Okay, so it didn't get beaten here, it didn't get beaten here, and look, boom. So that's significant for me. So that's where I place my stop loss. So not only is it based on supply and demand, it helps me manage my risk, and it's visible quite easily, and the setup is available quite regularly. Well, you know what I mean. The setup is quite available often. Okay, so let's get back to this. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, creates a high. From here, should push up, it fakes and breaks. Okay, cool. When it pulls back in here, I'm looking to enter here as a minimum. Some people look for up here. I want to get in as soon as possible. I'm entering here. My stop loss is above there. This is a 10 pip stop loss. Let's call it, it's 11.5 pip stop loss. And I am looking for 1-to-1, so I could go 10 pips or 6 pips, depending on the lot allocation I'm using. So probably it was 6 pips. So here is 8 pips. That first drive out, I'm out. Okay, yeah. And as soon as I'm out, I'm done. And I'm grateful for this, because this happens. Okay, imagine I got in here at this time. Let's just check what time that was. I got in here at 10 o'clock. Before price beat this low, I expected it to beat this low, by the way. Before price beat that low, it was another, what's that, 8 hours later. Yeah, so no, I'm not interested in holding a trade that long just to beat that low, when with this 8 pip scalp, 6 pip scalp, I can make 1%, 0.5%, whatever I want on that day. Okay, so that's the setup, right? Cool. That was Monday. And again, it was Monday, so why am I going to stick around on Monday that's notoriously slow and choppy? I'm not going to stick around on Monday, try to get an additional 10 pips. Okay, cool. Tuesday, what did we have? We have price trending down this time. Okay, cool. So I'm looking for a buy. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. Where is it? Okay, cool. Price trended down. We've got a high, a lower high, lower highs, creating lower lows in the process. A small tight trend. I saw this, I was looking at it around here, and I anticipated that it was pushing down towards the demand zone, and I was tempted to try and ride it down to this demand zone. So this demand zone, when I broke this high, so I was expecting it to come down to this demand zone to be bought up, right? So I was tempted to get in here to sell it down to this demand, but I chose not to do that, because it's something I've done in the past. It works out often, but it's not something I want to be doing, taking that kind of risk, because with my entry being, say, I believe it was here, my stop loss would need to be above here, and there's quite a fair bit of equal highs there. So for me, above here is liquidity. Okay, yeah, so I wasn't looking to do that, and it was 13 pips is okay for stop loss, but I wasn't looking to do that. I just wanted to buy. So it came down to demand here. I waited, got my buy here when it broke structure, and I was going, actually I didn't even wait for break of structure. What I did with this one, because I saw what clearly was going on, if you look on the higher time frame, let's zoom in. We are trending on the higher time frame on the H1. Okay, here's our low, here's our low, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher low. Okay, so when it pulled into this zone here, that was the last higher low that broke this structure, I got in here. Okay, this trade I wanted to hold it. I did leave a runner to try and run these highs. Okay, because at this point I figured this supply zone is not holding. I wanted to hold it here to run those highs, but I ended up killing the runner because I just didn't want to stay in the move anymore. I had made my money for that day. I just thought, what's the point in the runners? Okay, so let me get back to it. Where were we? I hope I'm not losing you. If I am going too fast, just watch one of few of the other videos, because I covered this a few times, so I don't want to dwell on it too long in detail, but I did want to give you a bit of a account update and progression update and so on, and also show you these trades, how you could have caught them yourself. Okay, cool. So boom, So trended down, pushes down, got back into this demand zone that pushed it out to beat these highs. And then how I entered this, I entered quite aggressively. So I was watching the candle prints and I was waiting for it to close around this time, and believe it was just at the start of a certain session. Yeah, there you go. London session just starting then. Okay, so that was 5 minutes before London session. So I was waiting for London sessions to start, and I got in just before London session started. London session started on this candle here, and it pushed off. Okay, so it was aggressive entry, but I clearly saw what was going on, and therefore I did do that. I didn't wait too long for the entry. So I'll show you the entries. It was quite a nice entry. Trade history. Oh, smack on right at the bottom, and I did want to run these highs and the other highs and would have made it a 30 pip move, but you know, I didn't want to hold it too long. So I took my initial TP. It was about, where are we? 1 second. There we go. Cool. Initial TP was 6 pips. Left the runner to run a little bit, another 6 pips, and I forgot about it, then remembered, and I closed the runner because I was done. Okay, and I think there was news due actually. There was news due, so I thought that was enough for me, you know. Don't need any more. Let's not be greedy. Okay, cool. So it did move significantly further. Happens to me a lot. Okay, it moved from there all the way to here, and that would have been a nice 80 pip move. Okay, it may be continuing up, I don't care. I did make 1% on that move, so it doesn't really matter. That's more than enough for me on that day. So one trade there, one trade there. Okay, so what did we have this morning? We had price trending up. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a sell. We are in supply on the daily this time. I did mark at a key price point, which was 10.07 here. Yeah, and you can see it reacted to it yesterday, and it's reacting to it this morning. So I thought, okay, cool, this is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. This could be a potential major reversal, or it could be just a small pullback. Okay, so I did take this scalp here. Where was my entry? My entry would have been based on this low here. So when price broke it here, I had entered roughly there, and I was looking for that drive out there. Okay, so I had a fair bit of size, decided to scale out, and the reason I decided to scale out is because I feel like I'm pushing it a bit too far and taking too much risk, and it's not necessary really. So especially at this time of the year, so I scaled out and took a smaller win. I got 0.5% instead of the 1% that I would have got, but I was okay. It's okay. I made that decision to scale out because it's more important for me now just to practice managing my risk. So this is the stage I am in my trading journey, right? Before was to find consistency in trading, found that with the setup. So I am profitable, but now I'm trying to manage my risk more. So learning how to use less volume and taking less risk, being more patient, taking one trade a day, not over trading, not over leveraging. So I've spent this whole year working on not over trading. I've gone from doing 20 trades a day to maybe one a day now. So now I'm working on not over leveraging. So that's why I scaled out when I reminded myself of that. Okay, so I got this move here this morning. Same thing, you know, we are trending up. Here's a low, higher low, comes up here, pretends like it's going up, comes all the way down, breaks that low, equal lows here, more equals lows here, breaks that low. As on that break, that's confirmation. It's looking to push down for me because underneath here our stop losses trying to continue this uptrend. Okay, so I sold to run this down, and from here it could reverse. This is a London session just starting, so it could reverse and continue its potential uptrend, or it can turn around and do a major downtrend, which is what I would anticipate. But again, I would anticipate maybe it come down to this demand. If it's going to be bought up, it come down to this point before it is bought up. So it maybe goes up here and pushes down again. We don't know. I don't care. I've taken my move. Okay. Now, quickly, just before we go to the account update progress, all of my moves, I make the assumption that it could go wrong. Okay, I make the assumption that this little reversal is just a pullback. It's not a major reversal. A lot of people make the assumption that when they see this price action, a few SMC traders trade the same setup. They make the assumption when they see this price action, it is a part of a major reversal. Okay, and maybe they go in heavy on this. I don't make that assumption. I make the assumption that it's a pullback. And if I make the assumption it's a pullback, I know once it gets to demand, it could be bought up again. Okay, so that's how I was able to win this trade. So this was a breaking structure that led it back to this demand. I made the assumption it's just a pullback, and I bought this demand to take it up. That's the trade continuation. So if you're going to trade with the trend, don't make the assumption that getting in with this setup to try run it and reverse all of this. It's better to try and stick with the higher time frame trend, taking this, and if you're going to hold it, then hold it to try and beat these highs. Okay, if you've got the patience for that. Me, I take the scalp, I take the scalp, I take the scalp, 1% here, 1% there, I'm good for the week. Okay, so yeah, that's all I really wanted to touch on. How are we doing? So we've had some ups and downs. I did have some bad news that I reacted to emotionally, and it did slow down my progress. However, I was able to claw it back, and now I am sitting on about, what's that, 4.5%. So with another $2,000, another 3.5% to do to complete this stage of the challenge. Okay, I am going to slow down. I know December is slow and choppy. I have reduced my size, and I'm going to just be patient. I am not in a rush to finish at all. Okay, so hopefully all of this has been useful for you. I showed you 3 setups, 3 scalps, and giving you some notes and some things to consider for this period of time coming. I mean, if you switch to H1, look back to December 2022, look back to December 2021, you'll see what I am talking about. It is extremely slow and choppy, so don't expect too much from the market around this time of the year. Okay, so trade cautiously, be smart, and manage your risk. Okay, I think that's all for today. Hopefully this has been useful to you. If it has, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I keep giving you these trade examples, and I will keep you updated with my personal progress. Okay, this is Patrick signing out, and until next time, peace.